We talking rom-com, we talking action, we talking drama and movie classics. Whatever you want, yo, we have it. Cause we talking movies on the podcast. So I married a film critic. So I married a film critic. So I married a film critic. Hey honey, I just want to talk about the movie like casually. You don't have to bring up the cinematography. Honestly, let's just talk about like how the characters were fun. Married a film critic. So I married a film critic.
Welcome to So I Married a Film Critic, a discussion between a professional film critic and lecturer and me, his wife of over 20 years, who just likes to watch movies for fun. I'm your co-host, Julia.
Hey everybody, this is Barry the Film Critic. How's it going?
And tonight we decided to watch the movie Carrie from 1976.
This was kind of a funny thing. You typically fight me whenever there's a horror movie suggested that we watch. Typically, I got to fight for it. This came a little too easy, which is why I want to say off the bat, when October comes around and I'm like, hey, I want to talk about this Stephen King movie, and you're like, no, we did Carrie. No, this does not count. Because I'm like, you sure? The prom, the pig's blood, Stephen King, really? Oh yeah, Carrie, we'll talk about Carrie. Like, okay, all right.
I think it's because I've already seen it, so I knew what to expect.
Not only have you seen it, but we saw the remake together with a bunch of friends, and you barely even remembered it.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, well, we'll watch the trailer later on, but I mean, it's not an improvement. There's only one Carrie. There have been...
There's only one.
There's only one. There's been two
She's
remakes.
like Duncan MacLeod. There can be only one.
No, nothing like Duncan MacLeod. How dare you? Don't mix that up. A 1986 cheeseball, swords, and sorcery fantasy versus Stephen King's Carrie. I'm so disappointed right now.
I know. I'm sorry. All right. Please continue.
No, I got nothing. I'm done. I'm going to go home.
All right. Let's just jump into it because this movie isn't that long, right?
No. It's very short. It's like the novel it's based on. It's very brisk. It goes by quickly.
So our film opens in a locker room.
People remember that. It opens up with a volleyball game. Let's be fair.
Oh, right, the volleyball game.
And it's a stunning shot because they had to choreograph this just right, or it's like, oh, we got to start over again. So it's the girls' volleyball team in high school. The ball gets passed over to Carrie White. It doesn't go very well. The camera glides over her, which is pretty impressive. This is back when cameras weighed as much as cars. And we see that the girls are jerks to Carrie White, and we're off.
I feel like I'm Carrie playing volleyball. I suck at volleyball.
You were never good at volleyball?
No. Every time I tried, that ball would just sting, the inside of my arms. I was like, I hate this game so much. It's not even fun.
The embarrassing thing is that I completely relate to that. The thing that I never got right was, do you have your palm outward? Do you make it into a fist? I was also told to use the lower part of your palm.
I feel like there's many ways to hit a volleyball.
But whatever they are, I always did the wrong thing at exactly the right time.
Yeah, and then it just flies out of bounds.
Yeah, Barry! They're all going to laugh at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This feels so relatable, but the fact that the girls take it so personally in PE. It's not like it's an actual game.
Oh, no. I mean, this part is universal. When I was in high school, certainly even in middle school, when I would screw up in PE, Barry, stupid. Even when I went to an all-girls school, Barry, what's wrong with you? I shouldn't say all-girls school. It was an all-girls class at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I sucked at this game in volleyball class, or PE class, I should say.
So this movie triggered us, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, it did, because then they're just like, oh, Carrie, she's so stupid. I'm like, oh, well, okay, so she's not good at volleyball. Who cares?
Well, I think this is, it's just yet another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they've been rotten to this girl for a long time.
Right, and I guess part of me wonders why, because she doesn't say anything. She doesn't do anything.
But those are the targets. They don't stand up for themselves. And I could relate to that.
Did you use your telekinesis against kids?
No, I used my movie critic powers.
Oh,
I got all the revenge I ever wanted, all the revenge I ever needed. No, I could relate to this. I mean, thankfully, this wasn't a lot of my life, but certainly in high school. And, I told you I had a bully. There was a guy 2 grades above me who was vicious to me for years. So when these things happen, it was typically I never thought of the right thing to say at the right time. I never advocated for myself, and you get used to being silent because you're intimidated, you're frightened, and you know that whatever you say next is gonna have a lot of bearing. And usually it was the effect of like So yeah, those kinds of people, they become targets when they're not able to advocate for themselves. A simple "shut up, go away, dick face" will do a lot, but when you can't think to say it at the right moment, let alone with the right inflection, you're screwed. And it's like, okay, I got years of this. So this is, this is obviously something that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even though I sucked at volleyball, I was not bullied in high school. So there's that.
So if you weren't bullied in high school,
no,
what does that mean?
I wasn't a bullier either.
You weren't, one of those girls going, they're all going to laugh at you.
No. I wasn't like that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
No, I went to a really small school like you, and my mom was a teacher there. There's no way I would have done anything. I got detention 3 times in 4 years. I mean, that's nothing. And one of them was for rolling my skirt so it would be shorter. It was very juvenile, just stupid stuff.
That is scandalous. Speaking of scandalous, we should talk about the next scene in Brian De Palma's Carrie.
Okay. Now let's get into the locker room scene, which is what everyone remembers. And I told Barry, I was like, this is a classic man version of what he thinks locker rooms are like. I mean, it's all steamy. It's like a sauna in there. And the girls are just walking around naked and like laughing and giggling and like wearing towels and actually having legit showers. I mean, maybe this happened in the 70s where the girls actually showered, but we never did.
Brian De Palma, you are a pervert. No. Let's talk about this. So I think to defend this scene, and I will defend it, it's
of course. Here we go.
Well, everything is operatic. Everything about this movie, it begins in a way that's very like it's kind of like the way we remember our youth. It's the way we remember our bodies, the way we remember us being these kings and queens of high school. And Carrie is the contrast to that. She's a very real component, whereas everyone else is like a princess, and everything else is like, oh, look how great it was. Like this movie is very self-aware of the fact that this is going to be a moment in time, without all the killing, a moment in time that everybody wants to remember.
Okay, so can you defend the camera ogling Carrie while she's washing her breasts?
What Carrie White is?
Yeah.
Yes. Of course.
It's like the most extreme close-up ever.
Yeah, and it's a close-up because we need the detail that comes right after that, which is very personal and excruciating.
Yeah, I don't know it needs to be that close and detailed, but...
You can't be subtle, and there's been no subtlety so far, so why stop there? Let me, so I mentioned De Palma, pervert, but also let's talk, I'm totally kidding. Let's talk about Stephen King. So this is the first novel that Stephen King ever published. It's not the first novel he ever wrote, not far from it. That's a whole other story. But this is the first book that he ever published, the story as it goes, and everybody knows this is a great story, and it's a real tribute to his wife. King wrote this opening chapter, and he's like, I really got something. He got to the end of it, and he's like, no. I wrote a girl in a locker room having her period. She gets mocked by all her classmates. What am I doing? This is so embarrassing. So he crumples up the paper, throws it in the trash. This is, he's using an old typewriter. There's no computers, nothing. So it's gone. His wife, Tabitha, rescues it, reads it, and goes, I think you might have something here. Keep going. So, and that's she rescued Carrie.
Behind every successful man is a successful woman.
I think that goes without saying. I don't even think it's something that needs to be said.
I do. Just kidding. Okay, so Carrie gets her first period, and she starts flipping out.
You mean like history or English? Period 1 or period 2?
Oh, like the period.
You know that when I went to middle school, the girls around me, and who maybe one of them listened to this and remember this, they, for a long time, didn't want me to know what was going on with them. And all of them were like going through it apparently simultaneously. And at this point in time,
all their cycles were synced.
I think I was about 13, and I really wasn't savvy about any of this. I just wasn't. So they would say pooms. They would pronounce the PMS. So like, your pooms? How's your pooms today? And I'm listening to this. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? It sounds like a character on He-Man, but I can't be sure. Like, what are they? So for months, I didn't know what was up.
Oh my
And like one time they're like, don't let anybody see this. Okay. Bye, bye, bye. And I realized that what's in the, because one person handed another person a paper bag, and I'm like, what's in the bag? So like during recess, I peeked, and it was a tampon. I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, this is like a world of mystery that I'm completely unable to infiltrate.
To be fair, I don't think any 13-year-old boys are understanding this. 13-year-old girls were barely understanding it.
And also to give all of them the total credit in the world. And I loved all those classmates. They were wonderful, and they were so cool to me. But this was a middle school where I was the only boy in the class for 3 years. And in that time, I was, 13 years old. So I was, insufferable, immature, and impossible, like an obnoxious little brother. So I completely understand why they didn't want to explain it all to me.
Okay, well, this situation Carrie has is far worse because she's in high school. She doesn't even know what a period is.
Right.
And she all of a sudden gets it, thinks she's dying, starts screaming.
Yep.
All the girls are laughing at her, and they start hurling pads and tampons in her direction.
Which is a waste of a good tampon.
And she's freaking out. She's like getting blood all over everyone, which is disgusting. And
this is where obviously the romanticized element of it ends, because in the opening scenes it's like, okay, De Palma is, again, it's like this is a romanticized operatic memory of what high school felt like as opposed to what it really was. And then suddenly it's harsh, it's ugly, it's in our face, it's his, like the film has become hysteria. We're in Carrie's frame of mind.
Mm-hmm. So Miss Collins, who is the gym teacher, I guess, for the school, she's like, what is going on? And she rushes in there and she's trying to calm everybody down. And then she realizes Carrie doesn't know what a period is. And then she tells all the girls to get out of there and comforts Carrie. But it's so sad. Oh, and then Carrie gets so upset that a light bulb bursts. Mm-hmm. And we don't really know.
No, it's just coincidence. Bad, faulty wiring in this crazy high school.
Right. All right. So then Miss Collins asked the school principal to excuse Carrie from gym class for a week because of the trauma. And this scene with this principal, I mean, he keeps calling her Cassie.
Yeah,
sucks. He sucks. And she's like, it's Carrie. And I don't know. She's watching his cigarette on the desk, and it's like moving, and then I think it falls on the ground. And everyone's like, that's weird. And so Carrie walks home and...
Talking about the little boy on the bike who looks...
Oh my gosh.
The thing about this, there's two things. For one thing, it's Betty Buckley's voice, because apparently this kid didn't have a right voice for it. So Betty Buckley, who plays the gym coach, it's her. And the little boy looks just like Damien Thorne. The Omen came out the same year.
Okay, so she's walking down the street, and this kid is on a bike, and he's like making fun of her.
Scary. And she uses her telekinesis to go, hey! Knocks the kid off the bike. And he looks just like the little boy from the Omen. I'm like, cool. It's like an Omen Carrie versus movie decades before we'd actually want one. So.
I actually thought this was hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, good for her. Because at this point, you're like, oh, she's got some powers, but we don't know the extent of it.
But the power, powers or no powers, if she had just pushed the kid off his bike, it would be like, fine. We're okay with it.
Here we meet Carrie's mother, and instead of talking to her like a normal person, Carrie's like, why didn't you tell me, what's going on? And her mom forces her into this weird prayer closet.
Her mom is in a constant state of hysteria. She's introduced earlier in the film where she goes to the mother of one of the high schoolers' house and tries to basically give her some literature. And the mom basically bites her off to go away. But you get the sense that the mom has a reputation, maybe not in the town, but certainly in this community as somebody who's really wacky and crazy. And we see oh my God, this is all Carrie has. She grew up with this person. This person is her shelter, her window to the world, and we can understand why Carrie's growth is so stunted.
Right. And Carrie's mom, Margaret, is quoting what I initially thought was a Bible verse, but then I'm like, that doesn't sound right. So the line is, and Eve was weak and loosed the raven on the world, and the raven was called sin, and the first sin was intercourse. And I'm like, wait, what? So Margaret White has essentially created her own theology out of something, I don't know what, but she gets into it a little bit later with Carrie, but she thinks that having sex, regardless of if you're married or not, is sinful. And so she never told Carrie about the birds and the bees.
All of the scenes between Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie in this movie are amazing. I don't love this movie because of all the other scenes, honestly. And I've always liked this movie. I don't love it as much as I used to because there is something really crass about this film. It's very dated in some ways, and it's also, everything is like, I defend it, and I'll still defend it, saying like, this movie is about high school emotions, so we're seeing a lot of big high school emotions, but there's a really pulpy quality to the movie, and the book was pulpy too. But these scenes between these two actresses who, not coincidentally, were both nominated for an Oscar for their work in this movie, they're both so darn good. I love these scenes so much when it's just Carrie dealing with her mother.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about Miss Collins. She's probably one of my favorite characters.
This is Betty Buckley, who I've seen on Broadway as Grisabella the Glamour Cat in Cats.
Oh.
Betty Buckley. I also have a 6 degrees of separation to her. She played Carrie White's mother in Carrie the Musical on Broadway, which starred a friend of mine named Eric Gilliam, who was also in that production, that infamous production. It's one of the biggest bombs in the history of Broadway. And I've heard the soundtrack to it. I kind of understand why. Not the greatest, but a fascinating bit of Broadway lore. And yeah, Eric Gilliam, who's a wonderful actor. He was in the movie Hoosiers and a number of other films, and a gifted stage actor. I've seen him play Hamlet. He was one of the teenagers who slaughters the pig in the third act.
Okay.
All that to say, yeah, so Betty Buckley, it's weird that she went from this movie to playing Carrie White's mother. But she's amazing. She could do anything.
So she's really upset about what happened, and she berates the other girls in the class and forces them to go through a detention that she's going to administer. And it's all basically like hour-long PE session. And the girls are like, well, we're not going to do that. And she's like, well, then whoever doesn't do it can't go to the prom. So she's like really laying down the law.
This would be such a lawsuit today, but like 1976, like, you know what? She went to Woodstock. She's cool. Don't worry about it, man.
I know.
Just her vibes are bad, man. Just go with it, okay?
So the leader of the bad girl clique is played by Nancy Allen.
Nancy Allen.
And her name is Chris, and she refuses to participate. And oh man, so Miss Collins, I mean, she like slaps her in the face a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dang. I'm sure there's teachers today that wish they could do that to some kids, but it's obviously abuse.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
no question.
It's not great, but
Does it make for a crowd-pleasing film?
yeah.
It certainly does.
For the movie, you're kind of rooting for Miss Collins because these girls are so awful.
Nancy Allen is lovely. As I've told you, I've served her a few times at a restaurant I used to work at. She's a sweetheart. She's the greatest. And she's a great actress, too. You hate her guts in this movie.
Yeah, you really do.
Every time she gets slapped.
Every time you're like, yes!
Yes!
Obviously, that's bad in real life, but for the movie, there's some...
We don't have to we're talking about Carrie. We don't have to justify it.
I'm just saying, it feels like, oh, good. Like somebody standing up for Carrie, finally.
Yeah, the only person standing up for
the
Carrie.
only person.
Yeah, their gym teacher.
So Chris, Nancy Allen, she is furious. She blames Carrie for her misfortune. And meanwhile, one of the other girls, Sue, feels guilty about her part in teasing Carrie. So she asks her boyfriend, Tommy, to take Carrie to the prom.
Sue is played by the wonderful Amy Irving, and I'll talk about it later, but she stars in the next De Palma movie. She's the lead, and it's called The Fury, which is also about telekinesis. But Amy Irving's a big fan of hers. And, of course, her boyfriend is played by William Catt.
Who has the most epic hair in this movie.
Amazing hair.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's so curly and massive.
Yeah, I'm thinking like his silhouette would only cover like 40% of like there's actually a head in there.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much
And
hair
he
has.
does not want to take Carrie to the prom.
No.
Because she's the school weirdo.
Yes. But like Sue, he realizes that this girl is being abused.
I don't think he does it for that. I think he does it because his girlfriend.
girlfriend's asking him,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only reason.
That's exactly
he finally relents. So he begrudgingly agrees, and so Tommy finds Carrie in the library, and she's looking up books about
Telekinesis.
She finally
in the
figures it out.
telekinesis section of the high school library of the 1970s. Yes, I'm sure that's a thing.
Well, wasn't it more like science section, and then
Which again is such a stretch. This is 1976. To even find a book about UFOs is a stretch, unless you're going to like some hippy dippy bookstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it was just one small section in one book, and then she's like, "Oh, this is what I need to read about." So Tommy finds her, and
And by the way, kids, for those of you wondering, before the internet happened, this is what we had. We had books.
Libraries.
We had the Dewey Decimal System, which would lead us to a series of books that we would read, and then when we were finished reading them, we might need to read another book to find the information we're looking for.
So Carrie says no, and then she's talking to Miss Collins and tells her what's going on. And she thinks that this is another trick being played on her. And there's kind of a little bit of back and forth where Miss Collins talks to Sue and Tommy, and she's like, "What are you doing?" You know? And Sue's like, "Well, she deserves to have a good time. You know, I feel really bad." And so I think Miss Collins is like, "All right, that sounds okay." But I don't know if she fully trusts these guys.
I don't blame her, though I wonder, what was that conversation like between Sue and Tommy? He's like, fine, whatever, I'll take her to the prom. But like, okay, so next weekend, I'm taking her to the driveway, the drive-in, and we're gonna make out all the way, okay? Not midway, not halfsies, not a little bit, not a little peeky-poo. No, we're going all the way at the drive-in next weekend, okay? Okay, Sue?
And Sue's like, oh, he's telling that to Sue?
Yeah, because he doesn't want to go. Oh. That joke may not have made any sense. It may not make the final cut.
I thought you were saying that Tommy was telling Sue he's going to go all the way with Carrie.
No, I'm saying like he's giving her an ultimatum because he doesn't want to go out with Carrie White.
I bet if he said he wanted to go all the way with Carrie, Sue would have been like, never mind.
I think it would, it'd be a little more, maybe if they had pronounced the character as not having a crush on Carrie, but having a little more than what we see. Because what we do get is an extreme close-up of William Katt's huge, beautiful head while he's in class and he stands up to her from a teacher.
Oh, right.
We have that moment. And I think that's the moment we indicate, like, he's like, screw it. Everybody's making fun of this girl.
Yeah. Well, she compliments his poem.
Right.
And I think he's like, oh, she's a nice person. Like, what is everybody being so...
I wrote the poem for Sue. She never says anything.
Yeah. Why is everyone being so mean to her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously he's like a nice guy. But he does go to her house.
Yep.
And finally she agrees because she's like, I don't want my mom to see him. I'm
amazed he got as close. Because, like, this strikes me as a house there would be, like, at least 2 dogs. Little signs all over the lawn that says, like, you're going to burn in hell if you come to our lawn. It's amazing. I'm like, wow, he actually got as close to the door.
I know.
Man.
Aren't you kind of surprised that Margaret hasn't booby-trapped, like,
yeah, I expect this
walkway?
to be like the house from the people under the stairs. I seriously do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That would have actually been, like, a good ending if the mom finally did booby-trap the house and then the kids, like, are going to go over and make fun of Carrie and then they just get beheaded.
It's like a teenager Home Alone.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why didn't you think of that, Stephen King?
Yeah. All right. So she tells her mom she's going to go to this prom and the mom is like, you can't. And she's like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And now she's starting to, like, use her powers on the mom.
It's so fantastic. And listeners, if you haven't seen this movie in a while, give it a look, again, for these scenes. The way Sissy Spacek plays this, she's leaning into a window frame that's inside the house and telling her mom this. And it's like, there's no arrogance. It's not ego. Carrie is simply just, she knows that she has this ability. And the way she asserts herself to her mom, like, again, it doesn't come from a dark place. It's just like, this is a decision I'm going to make on my own for the first time. That's how she brings it about. Of course, the mother's like, I'm being attacked by this girl with this satanic power.
Right.
That somehow exists. I want to ask you, what do you think of Carrie's mom versus the miracle of Carrie's power. What do you think the movie is, or for a matter, the story is telling us? What does it have to say about this? The idea of spiritual power, the idea of a spiritual world, God and the devil, a spiritual world where good and evil exist versus what Carrie has. And what do you think the movie makes of that?
I think maybe Stephen King is trying to make a distinction between being spiritually led as a person and being like a dogmatic person who just has strong beliefs that may or may not be grounded in anything. They're just people, because obviously Margaret is just making up crap now. And she's highly abusive in her worldview. And she doesn't have any love in her heart at all. And so, which is the opposite of Carrie, who is very sweet and I think has love in her heart for people, but she's so beaten down by being abused by everybody that, you know, she's just kind of like shrunk inside herself. So maybe he's making a distinction between that.
And King has said that he's not anti-religion or anti-faith. It's just this, exactly what you said, it's this dogmatic abuse, you know, using...
Spiritual abuse.
Yeah, spirituality. Yeah, exactly. Which a lot of people of faith and otherwise have dealt with that sort of thing or experienced that sort of thing. You pointed out, because I've never really given it much thought. It's a very small part of the movie, but it's a very striking visual. Carrie's mother locks her in a closet often. There's that statue in there with glowing eyes. Yeah. I've always assumed that was Christ. I never gave it a second thought. And you looked it up. Like,
I was just looking it up
which
again.
I appreciate because I've never given it much thought. But every time I watch the film, it's like, oh, that's...
Well, the reason I was confused is because the little...
arrows.
Yeah, there's like 3 different arrows or 4 inside of this person. And I was like, well, that's not like the crucifixion of Jesus. So I was like, what is this person? So the figure in the prayer closet is Saint Sebastian, a Christian martyr who is traditionally depicted tied to a post or a tree and pierced with arrows. The statue appears several times in the film. So the choice was intentional because near the end of the film, the mom basically dies with the same...
Yes.
Not with arrows, but...
well, if Carrie had arrows, she'd use them. So she's using kitchen utensils.
Exactly, knives. So it's the same... It's just the same iconography, I guess. But that it just shows that Margaret thinks she's a martyr for this belief system that she has.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good illustration for that. Yeah.
But just Google says... Margaret White's beliefs aren't representative of any mainstream Christian denomination. Throughout Carrie, she mixes biblical ideas with beliefs she seems to have invented herself. And the Saint Sebastian imagery helps reinforce the film's themes of religious fanaticism and martyr complexes.
So listeners, if Margaret White reminds you of you or someone you know, you may want to reconsider all those things that you're saying and wearing on t-shirts and telling to people.
Oh, okay. Well, she does, in one scene, she goes to Sue's house and talks to her mom and is trying to, like, recruit her somehow. But I'm like, she's not a part, like, recruit her into what? She's not, like, going to a local church that has these beliefs. So
it seems like she has some kind of literature.
Yeah, but we don't really get any details. Did she meet up with other like-minded people?
And that doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, we talked about her backstory, what we know of it, and what it's established. And it just seems, she's a one-woman band at this point.
I know. So, which makes it funny that she's trying to recruit people.
This is probably one of the only people she knows in this town. You know, This might be one of these situations where, like, I grew up with this person. I'm comfortable with Sue's mother.
Yeah. Okay, so now everybody's getting ready for the prom. Carrie sews her own dress. I mean, it's this beautiful white dress. It's gorgeous.
We haven't talked about Chris and Chris's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about them.
So Chris's boyfriend is played by an actor who at this point was known as one of the sweat hogs on Welcome Back, Kotter. And this is a year before Saturday Night Fever. It is astonishing to watch John Travolta in this and think, 2 decades later, almost approximately 2 decades later, he would become one of the biggest movie stars ever. Pulp Fiction and Michael and Phenomenon and Broken Arrow and Blown Away, General's Daughter. He killed the 90s. Almost, not everyone, but almost every single Travolta movie that opened for like 10 years were hits. And he had hits after, he had Battlefield Earth, and then he came back, and then he went away, and he came back. One of the most amazing careers. And you look at him in this movie, it's like, wow, where did that come from? Because he's a doofus and a goofball in this. But he's playing a character.
He had greatness inside of him the whole time.
He was playing a character, but had I not known that this guy would be like the disco king in just a year, I never would have guessed. Like, oh man, this guy's gonna rule the cinema.
Yeah. Well, Chris tells Nolan, who's John Travolta,
Nolan,
that she wants to get back at Carrie, and so then we see them.
He is the world's worst boyfriend, by the way. He slaps her all the time.
Oh my gosh.
He cannot handle any kind of debate with her.
I know, but they also egg each other on.
Yeah,
it's a very toxic relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's funny because in 1981, Travolta and Nancy Allen are starring in a film together directed by De Palma called Blowout, which is a very good classic De Palma movie. But here they are. Yeah, he's just like, oh my God, I can't stand what you're saying. And he slaps her in the face. Jeez, dude.
Well, she doesn't.
Over and over. Does she deserve it? Of course. She's awful.
No.
But he's terrible too.
She doesn't deserve to be slapped, but she doesn't do anything. She just is using him to get back at Carrie at this point and gives him a BJ in the car to get what she wants. So she doesn't really care that he's slapping her as long as he does her bidding.
Oh my God, that's terrible, but okay, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Continue.
So
can we both agree that aside from Margaret White, these are the villains of this film?
Oh yeah.
There are none worse than these two idiots.
For sure.
Because that's the thing. It's like it's the best kind of villain. It's not just that they're bad; they're stupid.
Well, the thing is, I feel like now that Carrie, I'm watching this movie, and Carrie is finding her voice. She's finding a way to stand up to her mom in her own way. And what is she? I don't know, a junior or is she a senior?
Prom, yeah. So
yeah,
I think a senior.
Okay, well. So she's almost 18, I'm assuming. It's like if she had survived this year of high school and graduated, she could have actually been free of her crazy mom. But these people make that impossible.
It's true, although I think an argument could be made that Carrie's mother would have tried everything to keep her. She won't even let her go to the prom. I assume that she wouldn't have let her move out, too.
Well, that's true. And maybe if Carrie did come home, and even if she had come home having a fantastic night, her mom would have still tried to kill her.
Interesting.
Don't you think?
I don't know. That's a really interesting point. I'm not sure. Because the mania of the mom is so much. But again, it's not that the mom suspects things are going to go bad, but I feel like the way she is, we'll get to it. When we get to the third act, I feel like her mania matches what happens at the prom.
Oh.
Basically, I feel like literally and figuratively, the gates of hell open up at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Margaret White is basically, tonally, she's there with everything else that's happening. Mm-hmm. It would be amazing if she was like, "How was the prom?" No, it's not what happens.
That's true. So now we see Chris and Nolan and their other friend, and they go to a pig farm and slaughter a literal pig just to get the blood.
I can't believe that he'd even be willing to do this. I mean, obviously Chris has amazing technique because, oh my God, we're gonna kill a pig. It's crazy. I can't believe we're doing this. Come here, little piggy.
He's like, my girlfriend is so good at stuff, I will do anything.
And the stuff is so good that I'm gonna kill this pig. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is nuts. Who's got a knife?
So are you saying if she was really bad at that, he would have been like, nah, I'm not doing that.
You're not that good at stuff, so I'm not going to kill this pig.
Oh my gosh. All right. So now everybody's getting the gym set up for prom, and they go in before all of that and put this bucket of blood up top.
Yeah.
And now they got a whole thing. They got a whole rig.
Yeah, they've truly booby-trapped it in a real Wile E. Coyote kind of way, where it's a crude pail that's full of pig's blood on this ledge that overlooks the stage where the prom king and queen are going to go.
I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's going to work.
Wouldn't it have been better to just simply swap out Carrie's juice cup with the pig's blood?
And have her drink it?
Drink it at the table. Ha ha, Carrie's drinking pig's blood. Yeah, like, instead of it being this spectacular...
No, because
this sounds almost like it's Nolan's idea. So we'll put the pig's blood on it, on a contraption. And then, when they get prom king and queen, which makes total sense, we'll drop the blood on them. It'll be crazy. It'll be great. It doesn't make...
I think that was Chris's idea.
And it's so stupid. But it's also this idea. It's thematic, though. It's also this idea of blood resembling shame, as opposed to blood being. It's not about the blood of Christ. It's about blood as aren't you ashamed of yourself?
The menstrual blood,
aren't you
the
ashamed
pig
of
blood.
being a woman? Aren't you ashamed of being who you are? Look at you. So this is like an elevation of what happens in the locker room. So in a thematic way, it makes sense. In a practical way, it's like, this is a little complicated for one thing, the equivalent of Cheech and Chong to come up with this idea.
I know. Well,
like the sexier Cheech and Chong coming up with this stupid Acme Wile E. Coyote scheme, all to like what? To get everybody to laugh and, at Carrie. But yeah, well, okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that moment when we come. We got this scene between Tommy and Carrie sitting and just talking to each other. And I want to say...
at the prom?
At the prom.
Okay, wait.
Oh, sorry if I'm jumping too far.
Well, before that, the mom gets really upset
Yeah.
at Carrie because she thinks that Tommy only wants sex from her. And doesn't the mom go into this weird,
It's
monologue
Yeah.
about how she got pregnant with Carrie? And she talks about being married to her husband. And well, and then she says that they prayed all the time that they wouldn't sin. I'm like, wait, are they married? What's happening? And then one night he had sex with her, and the way she's describing it, she's like, I loved it so much. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she conceived Carrie. And so she blames it on because now she thinks Carrie's evil.
Yeah.
And so she's thinking back to it's because the dad and I had sex, and then he left her for another woman.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get that whole backstory.
It's an important scene. You're right. And I think the movie gets away with it because it is a lot of information to dump on us all of a sudden. You almost get the sense did they film a flashback and it didn't work out? So now let's give Piper Laurie this big fat monologue before the prom scene. But I agree, it does work. We need it. We need to understand that for her, intercourse is the worst thing that could ever happen to her daughter.
Yeah.
Because she sees it as the worst thing that ever happened to her.
Which is, okay, all right. I still don't understand where she gets this belief from because it's very unclear. Is the book tell us?
Well, I not exactly. It's certainly from what I remember. And by the way, that was something else I should have looked at before we did this episode. I misremembered. I think it's in the book because I've read the book twice when I was in high school. I was so taken by it. But I could have swore there was the line in the book where Margaret White tells Carrie, "Don't let them see your dirty pillows." That's something I've always your dirty pillows. And I could have swore, of course that's going to be in the movie. It's not. So I wonder if that's only in the novel.
So I just asked Google, where does Margaret's belief that sex is bad in marriage come from? And it's a product of her extreme distorted religious worldview. In both Stephen King's novel and the film adaptation, Margaret teaches that sex is inherently sinful, sexual desire is a temptation from Satan, women are responsible for leading men into sin, menstruation, pregnancy, and childbirth are punishments for Eve's sin. Yet she did marry and have Carrie. In the novel, Margaret recounts that after initially resisting him, she eventually had sex with her husband because she, quote, gave in to desire. She later viewed that act as a moral failure and believed Carrie was the result of her weakness. So King appears to have drawn Margaret as an example of religious fanaticism. Okay, so we got all that.
And while you did that, I looked up dirty pillows on Google, and it says that it is indeed a famous quote from the 1976 film Carrie. It also led me to a really bizarre website called Dirty Pillows, about pillows you could use on your bed that are dirty.
Gross. Okay, but did we hear that quote the other day? When we watched it, did
No,
we hear?
no. Somehow I missed it. I don't know how the heck. Were we watching it late at night? Did I sleep through the Dirty Pillows moment?
I don't remember him saying it.
Because I quote that all the time, and then we watched it the other night. Like, where's the line?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it must have been something weird, something oogie that Stephen King came up with.
I don't know. I was waiting to hear it, and I don't remember.
It's okay. We'll just watch it again. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So the Dirty Pillows line is one of the most famous quotes from Carrie. So when Carrie tells her mother that she got her period, Margaret grabs her and says, I can see your dirty pillows. Everyone will.
Yeah.
And she's like, breasts, Mama. They're called breasts. And
Right.
every woman has them.
Yes.
Okay. So that must have been in the beginning. And we just kind of missed it.
Now, whatever you're doing, Julia, don't click on that link right there, dirtypillows.com. Don't do that. I did that. That took me down a rabbit hole I'll never be able to climb out of.
But it does come directly from the novel.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Okay. Dirty pillows. All right.
What did Tabitha think when she's like looking in on Stephen King's like, really, Steve? Dirty pillows, huh? Think you're going to have a novelist career from this, huh?
He's like, what's an unhinged way I can describe this?
Pig's blood in a bucket, huh? No, Steve, it's great.
Yeah,
keep writing.
Going,
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, no, you're going to be a #1 bestseller someday, I'm sure.
All right, now we have Carrie and Tommy at the prom.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet, actually, because when they get there, she's like, can we just take a minute in the car? She's really nervous.
When I interviewed William Catt 17 years ago to this very day, as Facebook told me this morning, I asked him about this scene, and I just said, like, I'm just curious, because, like, I feel like it's not completely stated. Is Tommy into Carrie when they're at the prom together? He's like, definitely. He's like, that's the way I played it. It's not only because of the scene that follows where you see the camera going around them and it's clear like that's how they're feeling in that moment. But he said that's something he played from the very beginning. He always meant it to be an intentional thing that we could see. Because on the one hand, Tommy's this rough and tough guy. He's obviously the girl's dreamboat. He's obviously, the love of Sue's life. But he's also somebody like who does have deep feelings. He does have deep thoughts. Carrie's the only one who sees that. So at this point, it's like this is the most, emotionally naked and the most like, transparent he's been in the entire film, and only Carrie gets to see that. So yeah, there is something really wonderful about the exchange of the actors in this scene.
Yeah, because when they're dancing, it's like they become the only two people in the room.
Right, and De Palma, as he does many touches in this movie, it's a very Hitchcockian touch where it's like, oh man, to set this thing up with the camera must have been just such a nightmare. The camera basically pans around them, but eventually it spins out of control. So it's like, ooh, okay. So it's like it goes from being dreamy and beautiful to being like there's something ominous about this, and it winds up being foretelling like what's coming. The tornado of out of control emotions, and then Carrie ultimately, her joy becomes her nightmare, and ours too.
Right, because after that, they are all voting for the prom king and queen, and somehow Tommy and Carrie end up on the ballot, and then Chris sets it up so that there are a bunch of fake ballots that she has filled in for Tommy and Carrie to make sure that they win. And her stupid friend Norma, with her hat that she wears, even to the prom, is part of this little scheme. You
know who this is, right? This is PJ Soles, who would later star in Halloween, just 2 years later. She's also in Stripes. PJ Soles is just a charming, wonderful actress. She's in Rock and Roll High School, one of the great, great, great movies of the 70s. But yeah, she's like all the other wonderful actresses who are in this movie who are not Carrie or the gym teacher. She's awful. Her character is awful.
We also see Miss Collins. She's having a great time at the prom. It seems like everybody's enjoying themselves. Yeah. And then we see Chris and Nolan underneath the stage just like bickering with each other and kind of holding on to their string. It's like, oh my gosh, this bucket could just fall on anybody.
I can't believe how much prom sucked for these two, because these two are obviously, popular. Obviously, they're good looking. Obviously, they have such charisma. Obviously, everybody in the room wants to be them. It's like, oh my God, we're on the stage. When do I get to pull the string for the bucket? This is so stupid. The food smells so good.
And I'm like, nobody can see them under there? It's so obvious.
Oh my God, my hair, it's sticking up.
So then Sue Tommy's actual girlfriend, sneaks into the prom and sees Chris and Billy under the stage and just realizes their plan. And actually,
Security of this prom sucks. They should not have let her in there. Like, hey,
well,
no
she
ticket,
went-
man.
I think she went in the back door.
Still, there's no security at this prom.
It's the school gym.
Things were looser in the 70s. That's all I'm saying.
But I actually love this scene because she's kind of like looking underneath the stage, and then Miss Collins is looking at her, and it's like everybody's kind of realizing what's going on at the same time. Because when they call, the winner of prom king and queen, and it's Carrie and Tommy, I mean, then now all hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah, and Nancy Allen pulls the string, bucket time, and then the soundtrack goes away for a moment. And I think that's the thing.
And Tommy gets knocked unconscious.
Yeah, from the bucket. Apparently, it's a big, heavy bucket. Yeah. But yeah, like there's a moment where you don't hear anything except for the bucket kind of bouncing on the ground, and you're just watching Carrie's devastation. And I've actually debated a class about this once. I argue about this with a class of horror film students I taught years ago. I don't think anybody's actually laughing. I think Carrie is seeing that. I think Carrie is imagining that. I don't think anybody's actually really laughing, because at one point you see the gym teacher laugh. So I don't think any of that's really happening. I think the rage is what's real. I don't think any of them are actually laughing at any of this.
Interesting. It's all in her mind.
I think so. Specifically because of that shot of Betty Buckley laughing. I don't think the gym coach.
Yeah, because when
laughed
I
at
saw her
this.
laughing, I was like, "Hey, why?"
I don't believe it. I don't. I do think this is all in Carrie's head. I think this is, but at the same time, she's remembering, they're all going to laugh at you. She's remembering all of that. She's remembering the beginning in the locker room. All of it's, all those things are bubbling up inside of her, and this is what comes out.
Yeah. Oh, this says Carrie snaps and imagines that all the students and faculty are actually laughing at her, which her mother had warned her would happen.
And I guess that's my interpretation. I could be wrong, but I do think De Palma is very clear about who the good guys and bad guys are in this situation. I don't think the gym coach would suddenly be like, oh, you know what? That's funny.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I know comedy, and that's hilarious.
So
No, I
then,
don't think so.
Carrie uses her telekinesis to destroy the gym and kill her peers and teachers, including Miss Collins, which was a shock to me.
Yeah, everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it.
There's a shot in here where Carrie's on the stage, and the stage behind her just erupts into flame. It's pretty amazing. It's an amazing shot of Carrie in silhouette. It symbolizes everything that's happening. Yeah, De Palma gets very showy here, and what the hell? I mean, he loves Hitchcock, so of course he's gonna dig into that. But there's the split screen. There's the soundtrack by Pino Donaggio that does Psycho a little too much. The wee a little too much, I got to say, in this movie, more than it needs, really. But it's very effective. I mean, this is one of the most iconic scenes in horror film.
So then Carrie walks home, and Chris and Billy, who witnessed everything.
Do they witness it or did they flee? That's one thing I've always wondered, and I can't remember if the movie makes it clear or not. Did they dump the blood and then get in the car and take off? Or they underneath the stage the whole time, and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! Carrie's got powers. This is crazy. Let's get out of here."
Well, I don't know if they're smart enough to believe she has powers.
Because I think it would make more sense if...
No, I think they saw the beginning of it and then they fled.
Okay.
They had to have seen some of it.
I mean, were they really sticking around to like listen to all the... this is going to get such a big reaction.
No. Well, I think they saw some of it. They probably were like, oh, crap, look what happened. And they ran to their car. But they attempt to run Carrie over, and she just
It's
flips
so nuts.
their car over.
Oh my God, Carrie burned down the prom. And then she's like, I'm going to run her over. And that's the last thought that goes through their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful people.
Yes, who died terribly, deservedly.
So Carrie is walking home, just covered in blood, and draws a bath, cleans herself. And I guess this is when her mom does tell her
It's
about...
a key image when she's washing the blood away, because
Yeah.
what are we talking about here thematically? Are we talking about her washing away the purity? Are we talking about her becoming... This is like her way of becoming a woman? I mean, what are we... it's a loaded image, and I think there's a lot of different things to take from that. One of which is that initially Carrie, in the opening scene, the blood is being washed away for a specific reason. And in this case, like, she's calling the shots. She's washing away the blood that she didn't ask for. But really, she's also got the blood of all these teenagers on her hands now. Now she's, because of her abilities.
That's true.
She's washing away the blood of like 20 people that she basically killed because of...
No, more than 20.
I'm being generous.
Oh,
it's a small high school, but yeah, you're right. You're right. What, 50, 60? I think in the sequel, and it's not a good sequel, it's not worth seeing. It came out in 1999. It's not good. It's called The Rage Carrie 2. Only Amy Irving is in it. She plays a high school counselor. It's like, oh, I remember this. They use a number. I think it's something like 70 people died, 80 people died. They actually throw out a number, but neither here nor there. Stephen King didn't write it. I don't think it's very good.
Okay. Well, this is when Carrie's mom starts talking about how she's an evil witch. And now she gets a knife and stabs Carrie in the back. Are you following? Am I in the right spot?
Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then her mom corners her in the kitchen and she's going to kill Carrie. But Carrie uses her power to get all the kitchen knives and tools and just get her mom stabbed all over, and she uses the knives to stick her to the wall,
right,
basically. So now she's looking like that martyr. That's where you see the same imagery.
Yeah, if the prom scene didn't get you this is shocking. Mm-hmm. It really is even shocking because it's, on the one hand, it's cartoonish and over the top because one of the forks as it spins through the air and gets her. But it's so violent, even now, looking at it 50 years later, it's so gnarly.
Yeah. So then Carrie is obviously upset. She goes into her little prayer abuse closet and lights candles and sets the house on fire. So the home eventually collapses and Carrie dies among the debris. Now, to be fair, she probably could have died just from the knife wound.
Right.
But the whole house just collapses in on itself and goes underground.
It's very operatic. There's a real thematic thing going on here in terms of her whole world comes apart with her.
Right.
In some ways. Yeah.
I mean, do you think there's is King trying to say that they both end up in hell, kind of?
I think in the prom the gates of hell do open.
But what about the house going under into the earth?
I like to think God would forgive Carrie White. I don't feel the same about Margaret.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
being literal.
No, I'm just saying, is that imagery what's he saying with that? Or what's the movie saying?
I think the faulty home life that had been established at this point cannot sustain itself. I would say that. I'd say that at this point, this fake, insulated, claustrophobic world that Margaret White created for her daughter. It's Carrie destroyed it. She destroyed it. There's this foundation can't exist anymore. So the whole thing sinks into the earth.
Yeah. So now, sometime later, we see Sue she's one of the few people that survived the prom night catastrophe. She suffers from depression over the death of her peers, obviously. And the mom, you can hear the mom talking on the phone, yeah, she, she'll be okay, or, it's just going to take some time. But she experiences a nightmare in which she visits the location of Carrie's house, and there's a cross in the ground, and she goes to put flowers down there, and Carrie's blood-stained hand reaches up from the rubble and grabs her. And I jumped, even though I knew it was coming.
And I was really amazed by this, because I remember the last time I'd seen this movie was maybe 10, 15 years ago, and I'm watching it with your mom. Which was so funny, but your mom loves a good scary movie, and I just remember watching her when she went, oh, she really it got her. But I wasn't gonna say anything sitting next to you because I'm what's coming, and it still got you.
It still got me, and I forgot that it was a dream. That's what I forgot.
Yeah.
So Sue wakes up screaming in the arms of her mother, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and this is one of, there's so many things about this film you could say, well, other films have stolen from it, other films have made it iconic. The ending of Friday the 13th is almost identical to this movie. And Friday the 13th came out 4 years later, so you do the math. It's almost the same thing, where it's this terrible dream sequence, jump scared, somebody wakes up. But yeah, a lot of films have done that. A lot of films have taken the Carrie route in which they end. I don't want to get heavy-handed about it, but I do want to mention it. This film hits me differently after Columbine. It just does. The idea of a high school tragedy and, and Sue at the end of the film. It definitely hits me differently, and I'm really moved by her, and I'm moved by Carrie, and I'm moved by Tommy. Even though it's a pulpy horror film, but I feel like the emotions are there, and it's mostly because of how good Sissy Spacek is. I've always loved Sissy Spacek. This was the first movie of hers I ever saw, and like she did this. This was this was after Badlands, the Terrence Malick film, but it's before she did Three Women for Robert Altman. She's amazing. She's worked with like almost every great director. I just love what she does here. And to a point where I don't feel like the remakes ever worked because the casting was never right. When they remade this, the version that you and I saw, I think it was like around 2010, they remade, it was a big budget version. It was Chloe Grace Moretz as Carrie and Julianne Moore as the mom. It was well intended. There was some good things about it. Judy Greer was in there as the gym teacher. Some good stuff in it. But one of the problems I had, and not only was I was not persuaded by Chloe Grace Moretz's interpretation of Carrie. The performance just didn't quite connect with me, and for so many reasons. But Chloe Grace Moretz is so obviously and traditionally beautiful. I'm not saying that Sissy Spacek isn't, but like, from when the early scenes of Spacek in this movie, I mean, it looks like she never washes her hair. She looks, pale and all this stuff. When she goes to the prom, she's the way she is in real life. She's just lovely. She just glows, right? But prior to that, Carrie does seem like somebody who can really vanish. Chloe Grace Moretz has always looked like Scarlett Johansson's little sister. Yeah. So when she goes to the prom, it's like there's not much. Like, of course she looks amazing.
They're like, let's hide her in a pair of glasses.
And I don't mean to talk about this in terms of beauty or whatever. But the ugly duckling thing is shocking in the De Palma movie. It's not in any other version I've ever seen of this. It's like, okay, obviously they cast these beautiful actresses who are playing these characters, as opposed to Sissy Spacek, who just seem to understand the character.
Yeah.
And the filmmakers also understand, it's like, yeah, like Carrie, it's not that she's not beautiful, it's just that she doesn't stand out.
Well, it would be like Nancy Allen trying to be like Carrie.
That's a good point.
There's no way. Like, if you switch those two actresses, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And it's not like they're both not great actresses.
Allen would have been a very different film, would have been interesting. Allen seems like she could hold her own with Piper Laurie, whereas Sissy Spacek doesn't, which is why I find it more, I'm more afraid of for her.
Looks like she could just blow away in the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
She's such a waif in it. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way,
no.
Just in the sense of like the translucent nature of her hair and her skin. I mean, can't even see her eyebrows.
You're right.
I mean, just because she's a redhead, strawberry blonde,
But
whatever.
she seems so fragile.
She does seem fragile.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So that, and then when she comes into her power, you're like, oh, okay.
And all the other actresses who I've seen play the role, Angela Bettis is another one. She did a remake of it for television. Like they're great actresses, but it never connected with me because it's like, you could see the end result coming. You could see the fact that it's a horror movie. Sissy Spacek is not playing this like it's a horror film until the end of the film.
Yeah.
Like the movie plays like a teen drama with a weird supernatural twist until the very end when all hell breaks loose, literally.
Yeah. So how many stars did you originally give it?
For me, it's Eddie Steady. For me, it's still 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's over the top. But I like De Palma over the top. The movie he did after this came out in 1978. It's called The Fury, which is about teens with telekinetic power. And it stars Amy Irving, Kirk Douglas is in it, Daryl Hannah's in it, John Cassavetes. I love that film. I feel like everything that's big and over the top about it is merited, whereas I feel like the big over the top moments in Carrie sometimes contrast with the little moments. At this point, I don't feel like De Palma was very good with the little stuff. I feel like he was good with the big stuff. And over time, he got better with emotional intimacy. I mean, like one of his...
He's like, if it's not a close-up of her in the shower, I don't know what to do.
He came out around the same time as Steven Spielberg, Scorsese. I feel like they all have that in common. Like, even though they're great filmmakers, they're very demonstrative in their choices, the way the camera is moving, everything. But I feel, Spielberg, as much as people love Jaws and they love Duel, for me, it's like, look at E.T., like, that's the one where you go, like, okay, like, he's great with emotional intimacy. He's great with the scenes of just the mother and son. you don't really get that from Jaws, even though there's great stuff in Jaws. But like for me, like I don't think about the characters in that movie. I think of the story as an adventure and a bigger picture. And I feel like for De Palma, like he got to that place. But a lot of his early stuff, like I'm looking at the pageantry of it. You know, I'm looking at the choices he makes as a director, as opposed to losing myself to the characters. And I feel like that happened later on. I just wasn't there at this point. Mm-hmm. But I like the film a lot. I do. I like the book a whole lot more. The book I've returned to a few times. The movie I think I could watch every 10.
So you recommend the book?
I do.
Is it full length or a novella?
It's barely a full length, but it's barely over 100 pages if I remember. Yeah, it's a skinny little thing, but I remember carrying it around and reading it quite a bit. I was always really, really taken by the storytelling. Yeah.
Okay.
You know that this movie and Star Wars were famously cast at the same time, and all these actors read for the same roles. Apparently, Amy Irving was a possible Princess Leia. They were talking about William Catt as Luke Skywalker, and none other than John Travolta was up for the role of Han Solo.
You know, I could see William Catt as
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
Especially if you look at that original poster of Star Wars, you know, like where it's not really Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. I mean, it's just like these figures as stand-ins for those characters. Like, yeah, that kind of looks like
no
William
offense
Catt.
to Mark Hamill, but
And he's great.
I would have enjoyed seeing that, I think. Just, you know, give him a better haircut and totally.
Well, you know what you have then? You have the greatest American hero.
Oh.
Yes.
Is he walking on air? Never thought he could feel so free.
On a Wing and a Prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
Do you want to share that story?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I guess I have to now. So
I can cut this out.
So also 17 years ago today, how embarrassing, I got to my interview with William Catt early. This was at Starfest in Denver, Colorado, and I'm with my dear friend, the late, great Dave Minkus, my dear, wonderful friend, and he ran a website that still exists called Screen Geeks. We had scheduled our appointment for William Catt. We got there early. We're setting up mics. There's a couple people in the room, so they're setting up like the lighting. It's a really nice professional thing. We know that William Catt is nearby. We don't know where. And I'm just setting up, so I start to sing the lyrics to Greatest American Hero. Believe it or not, it's just me. And I get...
You're doing the hand motion.
I am. I'm doing flying away on a wing and a prayer. I'm like fully getting into it. I'm being a total doofus. And then I realized the room got really quiet. I'm like, oh, I guess people don't like this song. And I turn around and it's William Catt. And William Catt's looking at me and he points and he goes, "That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life." And everybody's like, ah! They all start laughing hysterically. He pats me on the shoulder. I'm like, oh man. So
they're all going to laugh at you.
Yeah, that's exactly. So that's how that interview started. Thankfully, it wound up being a fantastic interview. I did my homework. We covered so many things of his career that he was doing. And he's, last I heard, he was working on a comic book. Super cool guy. And like 20 minutes later, we're in the lobby together. And it's like, hey, let's get a picture together. So he's cool. Yeah. But the last time I ever saw him was 2 days after that. He's across the room and we're all getting ready to leave and he's got his suitcase and he sees me and we make eye contact and he does a thing where he puts his hands out pretending to fly. He's like, That was the last time I ever saw him.
That's hilarious.
So there you go.
I love that. All right. Well, I think we did it. Well, that concludes our discussion of Carrie.